July 10th, 2025, Committee of the Whole will please come to order. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Morton?
Present.
Mr. Stuchel?
Present.
Mr. Edwards?
Present.
Ms. Hausfeld?
Here.
Mr. Schuldmeyer?
Present.
Mr. Culbertson?
Present.
And Mr. Estep?
Here.
Let the record show that all 7 members are present. At this time, I'd like to ask for, excuse me, a moment of silence. 2 longtime St. Bernard residents have passed away recently. First, for Miss Annabelle Walden. She was the mother of the late Curtis Walden, former law director as well as president of council here, and the mother-in-law of our current law director, Valerie. Also for Rose Sicking. Rose was the wife of former president of council, Jim Sicking. And we ask that you keep their families in your prayers. Thank you. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the written minutes of the June 26th council meeting.
Mr. President,
Mr. Schultmeyer.
I'll make a motion to approve the written minutes.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Schultmeyer, seconded by Mr. Estep to approve the written minutes of the June 26th council meeting. Are there any remarks? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. Move to reports of administrative officials. Mayor Jonathan Stuchel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Again, my sympathies as well to the family of Annabelle Walden and, of course, Rose Sicking's family. But I'd also like to offer my sympathy to the family of Rob Johnson, who recently passed away after a well-fought battle with cancer. Rob was the voice of the Titans, where he was the announcer for both football and basketball, and he most definitely had a bigger-than-life personality. So again, my sympathy to all of their families. I would also like to thank everyone who helped make our Independence Day celebration in the village an absolutely awesome event. To our community and to those who love coming to St. Bernard, thank you for showing up. To our recreation department for planning and organizing the concert and fireworks. Thank you to the service department for assistance in setup and tear down, and to the police and fire departments for keeping us safe and staffing the event. I can't say enough of how fabulous the Remains concert was, and the Rozzi family completely puts on the best fireworks display, and I personally think ours is one of the best. Our community event staff from the recreation department have decided that next year's Independence Day celebration will be on Friday the 3rd, starting at 5 p.m. We feel that staying off of the 4th allows us to have better attendance, and it allows people to go to other great venues around the area. Thank you to Council Member Connor Morton for allowing me to participate in his most recent Community Connect, where there was a large portion of the evening which was the discussion of the Greenlee Avenue Improvement Project. We had a situation where a very short-sighted decision was made, and there was not much community input received, so it was decided that the grass verge would become concrete and that the trees would be removed. After being made aware of the trees being removed by the contractor, I was able to stop this, and we are now committing to maintaining the grass verge and a tree line where we can. The concern was that the excavation for the new curbs, that the trees would be damaged or destroyed, so we will now be dealing with that on a case-by-case basis and not making a decision to remove them all before construction starts. We're also committing to adding trees to Greenlee, and we're working on identifying size-appropriate plantings for the area. I do appreciate the residents who have voiced their opinion on this. And just to give you a quick update on progress as far as the current projects that we have going in the village outside of anything with Duke Energy, but Langley Avenue, currently working on installing the roof drain collection lines, Doughton spout pipes under the sidewalk on both sides. Next will be pouring curb, sidewalk, and driveway aprons, and possibly beginning the storm sewer installation. There was a little bit of a lag period, and the residents, I think, were wondering what was going on, but there was some testing being done on the water lines, so they could not go any further. But again, there is progress being made. As far as Greenlee, starting on water main installation, and possibly some restoration work associated with the water line main work. But basically, that's going to be done probably for the next 3 weeks at least, before anything starts relative to our actual improvement project, which again is going to be milling, paving, new curbs, and new driveway aprons. But again, going back to the concern of the trees, the pouring of the new curbs, they will have to dig an 18 to 24-inch trench, at least 12 inches deep towards the verge. So there could be some damage to the trees, but as I said, we'll be dealing with that on a case-by-case basis. So that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Auditor, Ms. Brickway.
Thank you, Mr. President. To make it a short report,
I've been trying to catch up from being on vacation. So I would like to ask council's patience. We probably will have an appropriation ordinance, because I do know that the police chief told me his 6A8 equipment maintenance is running very low. He's been having some problems with some cruisers going out. But in the last few hours, I just printed 100, I just paid 100 invoices. So I need to get them all in the mail, and then I will review it to see how those impact the budget. And as soon as I do, I will let you know. Just been a very busy week, putting out a lot of little fires and catching up. So hopefully tomorrow or Monday at the latest, you'll know what we're going to need. Thank you.
Thank you. Law Director, Ms. Van Valkenburg.
Thank you. First of all, I do apologize for not being here at the committee or the council meeting last month. I was with my mother-in-law in hospice, and I thank you all for your well wishes and your thoughts for Annabelle. Not only was she an active member of the community, she was the secretary to the school board superintendent over at St. Bernard for approximately 20 years. Following that, she actually did a stint as the secretary of the Civil Service Commission as well. So again, apologies, but I do appreciate your indulgence in that. There is a celebration of life for her tomorrow, 12:30 at Arlington Cemetery. Then also, I don't have prepared for you tonight. There was some cross-communication between the Safety Service Director and myself, and I apologize for that. You may remember at the Committee of the Whole meeting last month where we talked about the fact that there was apparently an easement signed, or supposed to have been signed, in the early 1980s, 1981, between the Eagles and the village, and I could not find it downtown, so it looks like it was never filed. There was some discussion. We were hoping that maybe we could just get it filed, but the signatories that were identified on the document themselves, at least 2 of them have passed away. So we're going to have to basically recreate it to get signatures. What I will do then is, my plan is to ask to have a resolution authorizing basically the signature of this document that should have been signed in 1981, so that we can go ahead and get that signed and get it filed in downtown. So I'll have that to you. I'll work on that this weekend. So I'll get the resolution to you out so you have it to look at ahead of the next council meeting. Also, a recently enacted law changed Ohio Revised Code Section 149.43B1 and now allows municipalities to charge for when we get public records requests that involve video. Chief Simos approached me about this because he had approached me about this some months ago before this was even, when they were first talking about signing the law. It allows for basically actual costs of up to $75 an hour to be charged for a total of, a maximum total of, I think it was $750 per request or per video. And there are certain other provisions. So what I would like to do is maybe get a Laws, Contracts, and Claims Committee meeting scheduled so we can look at that. If that's something that the council wants to do, then if we could get that done, then I could even get that prepared for next month. So yes, because I know the chief is very anxious that his people spend a lot of time responding to things, and they have to be viewed, they have to be sometimes redacted because of other personal information involved that the requester is not entitled to. So I would like us to go into, or schedule a Law, Contract, and Claims Committee to discuss that. And then finally, I do need to go into executive session at the end of Committee of the Whole meeting to discuss ongoing litigation. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Would you like us to make the motion to put the resolution
Yes, please.
on? For the
Yes,
easement?
because I'll get that out to you after the weekend.
Motion to place the resolution for the easement for the parking lot on the next, on the
Mr.
table.
President,
Mr. Schulmeyer.
I'll make a motion to place the resolution on the table for the easement.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Schulmeyer, second by Mr. Estep to place the resolution on the table for the easement. Any remarks? Not all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. Then I'll entertain a motion that we go into executive session for pending litigation at the end of this meeting.
Mr. President,
Mr. Schultmeyer,
I'll make a motion to go into executive session for pending litigation at the end of the meeting.
I'll second that, Mr. President.
motion by Mr. Schultmeyer, seconded by Ms. Hausfeld to go into executive session for pending litigation at the end of the meeting. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Morton?
Aye.
Mr. Stuchel?
Aye.
Mr. Edwards?
Aye.
Ms. Hausfeld?
Aye.
Mr. Schultmeyer?
Aye.
Mr. Culbertson?
Aye.
And Mr. Estep?
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carries. We will go into executive session to discuss pending litigation at the end of the meeting. Treasurer, Ms. Derenkamp.
Thank you, Mr. President. As of the end of June, our revenue was $7,898,054.41, and our expenses were $8,294,072.69. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Safety and Service Director, Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Mr. President. A couple of things to pass along. First, in the vein of the discussion on the parking lot, we did get notice this afternoon from Fifth Third Bank that they have completed all the quotes and all the work on that on their end. And so the contractor will be Abco. They were the low quote from the three that they got for the parking lot. That will be done shortly after the German luau concludes in early August. Either towards the end of that week or more likely the following week of August is when they would start the work here. And we requested that they provide us 3 days notice ahead of time so that we can move cars and let people know that the parking lot's going to be down for a bit for milling and paving. Also, the village recently concluded a risk management report from the Ohio Plan. Ohio Plan is one of the benefits of being with that insurer, provides a full-time risk management person that comes in and reviews the buildings and the operations. It was a rather extensive review that went on for about a day and a half, and we just received a report this week on that. I'm going to be working with the different department heads to rectify some of the situations that they felt like that needed attention. Most of them are minor, but things like the playground, some of the playgrounds that need some work and so forth. Also, we're in the mayor didn't mention this, but we're in the process of reconstituting our planning commission. It's been dormant for a period of time. We do have a potential request for a lot split on Kiley Avenue, and so we need to get that going. The mayor has made appointments of 3 individuals at this point. The other 2, based on our charter, are the mayor and myself, or my position. So we're hoping to have that planning commission up and running by August. I'm currently working on a plan for training, initial training for the planning commission, so we can get that up and running again. And so I would say in probably September, look for a recommendation from the planning commission coming from them as it relates to a lot split on Kiley. And it involves the industrial building, and it's at the end of the road there before you get to the warehouses, and then the property across the street where Window Box is. That's all one parcel right now, and the new owner potentially would like to have those 2 properties split into 2 different pieces of property. And then finally, I just wanted to point out, because some people may have seen this if they're out early, there are times during heavy rains where we're getting some backups on Spring Grove Avenue near B&G Foods. It was brought to my attention from our police department 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we finally been able to find somebody at MSD that can help us with that. So hopefully we'll get that resolved. But as I understand, it's part of the combined sewer overflow and a line that they did some work on in 2007. And it appears that whatever systems they have in place for that aren't working correctly, and so it's coming out of some inlets and manholes and actually running across Spring Grove Avenue, and could potentially, if the rain's heavy enough and the flow, could create some traffic hazards. So hopefully that's something that our partners in MSD will be able to resolve in the next couple of weeks. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. The report from the tax administrator.
Yes, I'm sorry. For the tax commissioner, she apologizes for not being here, but she's teaching an exciting class on taxes to other tax administrators. Thank you.
Move to reports of standing committees. Finance, Mr. Morton.
Thank you, Mr. President. The next Finance Committee meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, August 20th at 6 p.m. in the lower level of City Hall. We will likely be discussing the execution of the LISC home repair program that I've previously discussed and other pertinent topics as they arise. The Finance Committee met yesterday to discuss that same LISC home repair project and the impact of a piece of legislation that's in the State House, House Bill 335, which aims to eliminate one of the two ways that we collect property tax revenue and pay for our village's vital and widely appreciated services. During that committee meeting, we didn't have much to discuss regarding our collaboration with LISC since we were still waiting to hear back about who would manage the payout process. Fortunately, I did hear back from our contact this afternoon with great news that this project is fully feasible in collaboration with Warsaw Financial and LISC. We are in the process of scheduling a meeting sometime next week between myself, our LISC contact, and Warsaw Financial to talk through the details. Again, this program will remove affordability barriers to address deferred maintenance on folks' homes through a brand new 0% interest rate microloan program for low-income households. This is a huge step towards better supporting both village code enforcement and our beautification efforts. The Finance Committee also discussed, like I said, House Bill 335, which again aims to eliminate something called inside millage. A mill represents $1 of property tax liability for every $1,000 in assessed value on your property. For example, 1 mill would cost an assessed $100,000 home about $100 in property taxes every year. Inside millage is collected from levies that are not on the voter's ballot, whereas outside levies and outside millage are collected from levies that are on the ballot for voters. The village, like most municipalities, currently collects through inside millage at around $552,000 annually from property taxes. The rest of our property tax revenue comes from that 7 mil levy, which is considered an outside levy. These levies provide crucial funds to support our police, fire, and service departments too. House Bill 335 eliminates these levies, including around $85,000 that's allocated for our police and fire pensions, thus removing our village's ability to fund these important services. Because of these reasons, the Finance Committee unanimously agreed that a resolution showing Council's opposition to the bill is necessary. This is an opportunity to show our residents that we are tuned into the decisions on all levels of government and are equipped to advocate on their behalf as good representatives. In summary, we ask as the Finance Committee that a resolution be prepared detailing our opposition. Separately, I again want to encourage folks to help save lives by participating in the Ben Strong Give Back Mobile Blood Drive, which is right outside the municipal building on Friday, July 25th from noon to 6 p.m. You can find more information about the importance and impact of blood and platelet donations at donateblood.uc.edu. Lastly, thank you to those who attended this month's Community Connect. We discussed a variety of topics, including the Greenlee Street project and ways to make our parks in compliance with some optional, yet still very important county regulations. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Are you going to get with the law director? You're not looking to get this done? That's okay. Thank you. Service, Mr. Gus Stuchel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Last Thursday, the Service Committee met to discuss the revised draft of the hall rental contract. In this meeting, the committee focused on revising rental policies to ensure better management, accountability, and cost recovery for the village. Key points included the introduction of an online portal for reservations and payments, which will also be used for recreational programming. A new deposit of $200 and an hourly rate of $125 with a minimum of 2 hours and a maximum of 6 were proposed to help cover utilities, supplies, and staff oversight during events. The fire marshal also conducted updated capacity assessments, confirming that the main hall can hold up to 100 people, the teen center 90 people, and Centennial Hall 90 people. The committee debated whether liability insurance should be required for renters only when alcohol is served, or whether renters could instead assume full responsibility via a signed agreement. The estimated cost of one-day liability coverage ranged between $50 and $150, depending on the provider. Committee members also emphasized the importance of ensuring the village is protected, whether through renter insurance or clarified language in the rental agreement. Discussion also addressed equity and accessibility concerns, especially for longtime St. Bernard residents. Proposed flat rate of $300 for weekends and a lower weekday rate were suggested to simplify pricing and reduce barriers. Members also discussed the potential need for a lower cost funeral rate for those wishing to host a celebration of life. Further topics included ensuring clear definitions of what funeral family is to avoid misuse, whether delinquent taxes should impact rental eligibility. This has been proposed in the past before, but lacked past council support. Stronger enforcement against subletting or misuse, such as including potential bans. Need for a consistent staffing model to cover cleaning and monitoring responsibilities, especially on weekends. And the overall goal is to reinstate hall rentals by beginning of next year as a benefit for the St. Bernard residents, while also protecting public assets and ensuring financial and operational sustainability. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Public improvements, Mr. Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. President. There was no need for a Public Improvement Committee meeting, but I would like to report on a great time I had working with the Recreation Department at the food booth at our celebration on Independence Day. Had an easiest job there, handing out buns, talking to people. So many of our residents and visitors to our community were not only impressed with the quality of food, but were surprised it was free. I know no other community can pull this off. I even had the opportunity to invite some of our visitors to move to St. Bernard. It was a great time. I would also like to say I totally support the food being free. It's a very positive way to make St. Bernard stand apart from other communities our size. Using opportunities like this and projects like the shopping center, I am hopeful not just to make our village a destination to visit, but a destination to live and to raise a family. I would also like to thank all the others who worked a lot harder than me. They're the ones that made this happen. 4 or 5 worked over a hot grill, another 4 or 5 handed out food, and someone also needed to order the food for the event. It was a real team effort by our Recreation Department. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. This concludes my report.
Thank you. Safety, Ms. Houseville.
No report, Mr. President.
Thank you. Laws, contracts, and claims, Mr. Schultner.
We did not have a past laws, contracts, and claims meeting. There was nothing to discuss. I will be getting with Valerie and we'll coordinate the time for the next upcoming meeting for the information Valerie mentioned at the beginning of the meeting. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Marketing, Mr. Culbertson.
Thanks, Mr. President. This is a reminder of some upcoming events in the village. Tomorrow night, Friday, July 11th, there will be an adult night at the Aquatic Center. This event is from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Bring your own food and beverages. On Saturday, July 12th, there will be live pro wrestling in the pavilion. The event is brought to us by Northern Wrestling Federation. Doors open at 6 p.m. and the first match is at 7 p.m. Admission is free, so please come down and check out St. Bernard's own Denver Drake Johnson. The next St. Bernard Little Grove Historical Society meeting is on Monday, July 21st at 7 p.m. There will be a presentation on amusement parks in Greater Cincinnati. This event will be at the upper level of the municipal building. Finally, the German Luau is about 3 weeks away, and on August 1st, it's from 5 to midnight, and Saturday, August 2nd, it's from noon to midnight. And my heart goes out to the families of Robert Johnson, Annabelle Walden, and my neighbor Rose Sicking. Rose is a matriarch of a wonderful family. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Business and Industry, Mr. Estes.
Thank you, Mr. President. No report.
Thank you. At this time, is there anyone in the audience wishing to address council this evening? Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Jeffrey Smith. I live at 4607 Hager. Before I get to what I came here for, I just have a question for all of you. Does everybody in here brush their teeth in the morning? Yeah? I do. Do you guys look at yourself in the mirror when you do that? Are you able to look at yourself in the mirror? I do. You do? Cool. This will be quick. What I put together here is the years of making, not just my own experience, but a decade of public records, financial votes, FOIA denials, silence from this very room. I have a binder for every single one of you in here, a personal binder. Sealed letters are already being delivered, which I have right here for some of you. The rest of you, if you don't get them, they'll be delivered in the weeks coming. And this time, you're not the ones holding the clock. I won't be handing the binders out tonight. I believe in fairness. I'm giving each of you a chance to review what's coming. You've got your letters right here, which I will pass out to you before I leave. Let me see here, where am I at? I will return one final time on July 24th, and at that point, I will not come to any more meetings. I will not reach out to you guys anymore. That's it. At that point, the full record will be presented, the public will hear everything, and the door will close for good faith resolution. What you do between now and then is up to you, but as of tonight, the silence is over. Not only do I have binders here, if you don't believe it and you want to test me, I brought specific binders, and I can read from those binders if anybody wants to do that tonight. I've got Peggy Brickway's binder with me. I've got John Estep's binder with me. I've got Ray Culbertson's binder with me. I have Jonathan Stuchel's binder with me. I have the law director's binder with me. If any of you want to challenge that I just named that I have your binder, please do so now and we can read from your binders. No? Okay. With that being said, each individual binder ties to what I call the St. Bernard suck, which puts all of you in connection. So with that being said, here's your letters. Mayor, here you go. Mr. Morrison, Buddy, Gus, Old Pal, Tim Williams. There you go, sir. Here's your letter. Down at the, money's a little tight, man. Got the short, finger there. I think this house though. There you go. Hey, I'm gonna need you two. One for you, one for Kurt. If you don't want to give it to him, I will give it to him personally. Same thing with you, Rick. You and I are white. If you want me to give it to her personally, I will. Let me see here. There's yours. Okay. And Mr. Jeff Edwards. Oh, thank you. Nobody's left out. Oh, no. Nobody's left out. They went across, not just city council, police, fire, maintenance, school board, all that. So, I'll see you guys on the 24th.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience wishing to address council this evening? If not, at this time, council will go into executive session and we will reconvene as soon as we can. All right, council is back in session. We met to discuss pending litigation. And as was stated, there will be one resolution and probably one ordinance next week for an additional appropriation. At this time, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. President,
Mr. Culbertson.
make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Culbertson, second by Mr. Estep to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.